Grandma Weiland stood my cousin Julie, Barb, Becky, and I. And she stood us in the living room, and she's like, okay. And she measured us, just took some measurements. All right, kids, go out and play. And we lived on, they lived on a farm. We went out and played. And we took baths that night, and doggone it, if we all didn't have brand new pajamas to put on, she didn't have a pattern. She didn't have anything, and I always just thought that was just the neatest thing. I can't sew like that. I'm not that good, okay? I'm making heart pillows. January 23rd, 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was scared. Of the unknown. Had a double mastectomy, and when you're having a surgery like that, there's all kinds of research that I did. There's a level of a pretty long recovery and the things that I would need to help me in that recovery. And one of the things that I found were these heart pillows, and they were expensive. So that's when I thought, this is ridiculous. When people are going through a really hard time like this, they shouldn't have to worry about something that can give them comfort and help protect them against their own scars and stitches. I made mine first, so I kind of knew how big to make it and how wide the stance should be between, the two humps and stuff, and how long the ribbon should be, because the ribbon ties up here, or like in my case, I tied them here and then one went here. I wore these things for weeks. I made a whole bunch of them, and I decided I was just going to give them away. So I posted them on Nextdoor and on Facebook, and that next Saturday I gave all of them away. So one of the things when I made the pillows is I write a little note on there for the lady that when she's done with them, just to simply wash them and hand them over, because nobody wants to keep that stuff anyway. And I was telling my family about them, and my granddaughters were here and they wanted to help. They have learned how to sew, both on the machine and hand stitching. They help me stuff them, they tie the ribbons, and then we put them in a pile and we hold hands and we pray over the pillows. So last year in 2021, I lost my job. My last day was going to be October 28th. And I get this message on Messenger of this lady, Roxy. She is a nurse at the Cancer Center at Memorial Hermann. And she has seen my pillows and wants to know if I could make her some. And we're texting back and forth. I said, sure, how many do you need? And it's usually one or two, depending on which side or both sides that the woman is having surgery. And she said, I need 75. And my first thought was, 75? There's no way. Since I was losing my job, I didn't really have a lot of money, so there's sewers everywhere, and I went on Nextdoor and explained what I was doing and asked if anybody had any leftover fabric, told them what I used. I got so much fabric. That's all I can say is I got so much fabric. I got so much batting. I got so much ribbon. I got everything I needed plus to make those pillows. So I gathered everything up that next week and I started cutting and I started sewing. And then Reese and Hadley came over and I put them to work. And we made 75 pillows. Had I been working full-time, it would have taken me a lot longer to do this. And these women needed these pillows. They didn't need to wait months. So Roxy started sending me pictures of these women getting them and just their remarks and their beautifully smiling faces. And there was one story in particular where this lady was set up for her chemo treatments in December, and she had a scan. She got the pillow, and Roxy said she hugged the pillow and she got this sensation from all over her body. And she said that it was a feeling she'd never had before. It was followed by a calm. And that later that day, she got the results from her skin, and she was cancer-free. And so she, instead of having chemo in December, was able to spend Christmas with her family and not have to think about that. This is God's story. This is God's deal. You know, He's just using me as a vessel, and I'm more than happy and very privileged to be a small part. The biggest lesson that I have learned is no matter where we are in life, no matter what we're doing or what's going on, we need to give, we need to serve. To get your mind off of yourself, to give yourself a purpose, and to help others is to serve. No matter what it is, if it's in your church, if it's in your community, people need help. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Listen to God. He will push you in the direction that He wants, and don't resist it. Don't say no. Don't say not me. Don't say I can't. That was the first thought when I saw that 75 pillows on that message. That was my first thought. And I am so grateful that I could turn that a second later and say, I can do this. And it took a community. It took a village. It wasn't just me. When you know that you're part of God's plan and you are fulfilling what He wants you to do, there is nothing better. There's nothing sweeter. So, yeah, I just want to do more of it.